Hey, how's everybody doing? Tom here, back for a new video. It's been a minute since my last one. I figured I'd come on, share some records, just moving some stuff around, kind of refiling some stuff. I figured now would be a good time while I have some stuff out. Kind of show what I've been listening to in the past, I don't know, a few months, maybe 6 months or so. Haven't been buying too much recently, because I am going to the Den Bosch Record Fair, first time. Really excited, really psyched for that actually. A little nervous, but definitely excited to go check it out. If any of you guys that see this are going, definitely hit me up. I guess on Instagram, maybe I'll leave my Instagram in the description. I usually try to do that. But this is what's playing in the background. This is Sonny Murray, Aigu Grav. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that title, but so this is from 1980 on the Marge label. Very nice avant free jazz album. Sonny Murray never misses for me. He's always puts out great records. So lineup: Alan Silva on bass, Sonny Murray on drums, obviously Richard Rao on tenor sax, Bobby Few on piano, and Pablo Savage on percussion. Nice record, definitely, and it's kind of cheaper on terms of Sonny Murray stuff. I think it should be 20 bucks or so, and that's what I paid for this one. Definitely worth checking out. I think the Marge label was a sub-label of Futura, some great stuff on the Futura label. So next up, probably my favorite, one of my favorites, maybe my favorite, Brian Eno, still in the shrink. Probably take the shrink off, but Ambient 4, which was On Land, 1982 on the Editions EG label. Great ambient album, and I kept the shrink on because it has this cool Caldor sticker, which was like a department store. I'm not sure if it was just in the Northeast or nationally, but I remember going there as a kid and getting VHS tapes and CDs, tapes, all sorts of cool stuff. So kind of nostalgic for me to see this. This was a little bit before my time. I never got Brian Eno records there, but definitely got some cool other stuff there for sure. Yeah, this is probably my favorite, at least of this series, this Ambient series, but it's one of my favorite Brian Eno records altogether. Really cool. What else we got? So, one I've never had before, wanted for a long time, been on my want list forever. Winds of Change, Far East Subway Blues from 1983 on the Muse Art label. Got a few things on that label. Another sort of avant-garde free jazz record, but also West African influences as well. Play the balafon, the talking drum. Great tracks on here. So the lineup: Tony Vaca, David Wortman, Tim Moran, and Mikhail Navazio. There's the lineup. So this is very similar to, or I wouldn't say very similar, but similar to these records, which also feature Tony Vaca, Tim Moran. This is a great record with Don Terry. Definitely recommend this one for sure. And this one's really good too. Wizard Stance. Once again, Tim Moran, Tony Vaca. Great stuff. If you like these, you'll probably like this one. This one might be a bit more avant-garde jazz, free jazz, but all great stuff. I definitely recommend all of these, so pick them up. Found this sealed at a record fair not too long ago. One that I haven't really heard anyone mention, but I think is a really good record. David Parker, Textures. Wasn't too familiar with this artist, but this is really cool. From 1989 on the VID or VID recordings label. So it's basically just him, and then there's one other player which plays bass on one track, I believe. And then there's also an author, I think a Swedish author, who reads some of his book on one of the tracks, sort of a passage. But it's basically piano, So the instruments are piano, prepared piano, melodica, and metal bowl of water, or singing bowls, I believe they're called. But really cool sort of piano record, definitely a bit experimental at times. Mostly original compositions, although he does do Monk's Round Midnight to start off and end the album, sort of an opener and closer thing. I think this guy was from St. Missouri, maybe. He's got a couple other records too, but I'm not familiar with that one. But really cool cover art on this too. I think this is the inside of a piano. It's just a Buddha statue. Yeah, Buddha statue sitting there. So David Parker Textures from '89, a bit later one, but really cool. Definitely check it out. The label's pretty plain, just kind of a white label. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with him. Haven't really heard his name mentioned before. I'm sure people maybe have talked about him, but moving on to a different part of the world, we got Dimenzio, self-titled. I'm sure probably mispronouncing that, but I'm pretty sure it's Dimenzio. Hungarian, funky jazz stuff, kind of venturing there into some electro, some Indian classical vibes on here for sure, especially the last track on side one. Which I cannot pronounce, Hadsharitas. Hair drying, I guess that's what it translates to, but with sitar, tabla, really cool jazz stuff. Definitely recommend checking this out. Another one that probably isn't too expensive, although I don't know how easy it'll be to find in the US. It took me a little while to find it on this Pepita label out of Hungary. Some great stuff on that label too. Some good jazz rock stuff, some decent prog stuff on there. That's your thing. I'm not sure if these guys had anything else. I think this was the only... I know they had other work individually, but I think that's the only album they had. This was one that I had for a little while, but spinning it more recently. Jerry Tashwa Quartet Forces from 1978 on the True Tone label, which might be his own label. I'm not familiar with that label, but so Boston sort of bass guy. He went to the Berklee College of Music, graduated in '76, and recorded this 2 years later, I guess in '78. Vibraphonist, very accomplished vibraphonist. He was a teacher, put on all sorts of workshops. Check out his website. If you just Google his name, Jerry Tashwa, find his website, but definitely has a very accomplished background. But sort of modal, some nice modal stuff on here. Jazz fusion. Definitely recommend checking this out. Sort of post-bop at times. He had another album from '84 too, which is a bit easier to find, much cheaper. This one's probably like a $50 record. That one's like a $5 record, but just as good in my opinion. I guess this one's a little bit harder to find. I think this cover is Yosemite, maybe. I think I read that somewhere. But cool cover. Definitely, if you like vibes, definitely check that out. Kind of chill overall, not too crazy. Post-bop, modal, like I said. But great record. Definitely recommend sampling it. Jackie McLean, I didn't have. I always try to pick up Jackie McLean stuff. It's getting harder to find, especially his Blue Note stuff. New Soil with, funny enough, a bit of soil on the cover, unfortunately, but it was a really good price. Found this at a record show, maybe like 6 months back. This is from '59. This is the 47 West 63rd mono pressing. Sounds great. It's got some marks on it, but sounds great, as the Blue Notes do. So I think this is his first album released for Blue Note, but not recorded. One side is all Walter Davis Jr. compositions, the other is all Jackie's compositions. Donald Byrd on trumpet, Jackie McLean on sax, obviously, Walter Davis Jr. piano, Paul Chambers on bass, and Pete LaRocca on drums. Recorded and released in 1959. I think it was released in '59, pretty sure. Definitely still in the sort of hard bop vein. Bit exploratory, but definitely staying pretty firm in hard bop. But great record, really happy to have this. Like I said, I grab all the Jackie McLean stuff I can still, but it's a lot of it, and people want money for it, so. We've got next, so really cool Polish artist, Sławomir Klupowicz. I think this one came out first. Yep, this is from '84 on Pol Jazz. Him and Shujat Khan live on tour in Poland on the Pol Jazz label. Just piano and sitar. Sounds very good actually for of the artwork on this cover. This is sick. Really good condition too for a flimsy Polish cover. But yeah, just piano, sitar. Pretty chill. It does get a little frenetic at times, but really chill Indian classical. And then the other one, Samarpan, featuring Czesław Niemann. This is from '87 on the Polskie Nagrania label. So unfortunately, Sławomir died in 2008 from cancer. He's only 56, very young. He's a pianist, although he plays some synths and gong on this as well. Started off in Poland playing sort of John Coltrane influenced jazz. Eventually went to India and got really inspired with Indian classical music. That's where he met Shujat Khan. And I think eventually down the road he met Alice Coltrane too. That's what I read. But very cool, definitely Eastern sounding, droney at times, new age. Czesław Niemann doesn't do his regular vocals on here, which I kind of enjoy because I like his regular vocals, but it's not his usual pop style singing for the most part, and it works pretty well too. So I would say definitely recommend check this out. Nice mix of like jazz, Indian classical stuff. This was kind of an underrated record in my opinion. John Ponte, Sunday Walk from '67, I think 66, 67, something like that. 67, yep. On the Saba label out of Germany. I guess a bit more straight ahead post-bop compared to his later, more experimental stuff. And I know violin isn't for everyone, but I think this is a really good underrated album, especially with the players. Wolfgang Downer piano, Niels Henning Orsted Pedersen on bass, and Daniel Humer on drums. Definitely recommend giving it a listen. Like I said, a bit more straight ahead post-bop, but definitely really cool. Don't really hear too many people talk about that one. I know he's got a bunch of albums too, but this one's definitely worth checking out. Another one I've been after for a long time. Happy to finally cross off the list for a decent price. Alan Shorter, Orgasm from '69 on Verve. Wayne Shorter's older brother, although the music's definitely not the same. But definitely fire record here. Free jazz, really solid lineup. Gato Barbieri and Charlie Hayden or Reggie Johnson, sorry, not Richard, Reggie Johnson on bass, depending on the track, and then Muhammad Ali or Rashid Ali on drums. Nice original compositions by Alan Shorter. Just fire free jazz record. Definitely gets a bit out, so if that's not your thing, you won't like this, but I think this is amazing. Regular Verve label there, nothing too exciting to show, but got it for a really decent price, so I'm really psyched about that one. Another record that I don't think I've heard too many people talk about or anyone talk about, I wasn't familiar with it. The David Bond Trio, Odyssey. This is from 1980 on the Vineyard label out of New York, which was a very small label. I think they only had 3 or 4 releases. I think this is the only one from the 80s. I might be wrong about that. But sort of self-described improvised chamber music. I would call avant-garde jazz mixed with a bit Indian classical, bit Euro jazz at times. Bit all over the place style-wise. One of the tracks is more kind of straight ahead. Gravity was a really nice, beautiful track. Dance Gallery, nice modal track. So the trio, David Soering, or Peter Soering, I'm sorry, on cello, David Bond on alto sax, and Charlie Miller on congas percussion. Wasn't really familiar with the players, but came with this cool press release packet, a little write-up on them. And I know this had something to do with Sweet Earth Records. It says Vineyard Records in association with Sweet Earth Records, which I believe are out of Northampton, Mass, somewhere in Mass. I know they had some great records on there too. The Marion Brown record was on there, but cool promo packet, press release packet there. Found this sealed. Actually, I don't remember where I got this, but I know I got this sealed. I cracked it open. So really cool find. Another kind of plain label, so nothing too crazy to show there, but nice avant-garde jazz. Psych record, I don't really show Psych, don't collect it too much, but the ones that I really like. This is the one I really like. Sort of heavy Psych, I guess acid rock-ish, from San Francisco. One and done, these guys only made one record. CAC, self-titled, from '69. Some of the tracks are definitely more folky. I know these guys did Blue Cheer, I guess some of the members were in Blue Cheer too, so I could definitely see the similarities there, but I like this a lot more than Blue Cheer. I don't know if that's, I don't know, sacrilege to say. People really seem to love Blue Cheer, but I don't. This is definitely much better in my opinion. Just on Epic, but really cool, really nice. Another one I waited it out and got it for a somewhat decent price, considering what it goes for these days, which is insane. And then last one, just because I found this at the local flea market recently, Demian, still in the shrink too, which should probably take it out, but Demian, self-titled from '71. This is basically the band Bubble Puppy, their second album, same lineup, different name. This is like hard rock, blues rock, influenced Psych. Still cool, not entirely my thing, but really cool. Dual lead guitars, solid drumming, cool compositions, nice riffs. Solid record overall. I'm not sure if I'll be keeping it. I think it's a gatefold actually, but like I said, the shrink's still on there, so or maybe it's not a gatefold, I don't know. But either way, cool find for a few bucks on ABC Records. So that's it. Got a mess on my floor now. Have to clean that up. So if anyone is gonna be at Den Bosch, hit me up, let me know. That's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.